Yo, how's it going, Bears fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Bear Down Podcast. I'm your host, Chris. Today I am joined by my co-hosts, Parth and Jaylen. How's it going, guys?
Pretty good.
So tonight we are going to be breaking down three major matchups in the upcoming game. Week 11? Week 10? I don't even know at this point what week we're in the NFL season. Anyways, Bears versus Vikings on Sunday Night Football this week. We're each going to share one matchup that we think is going to be influential to the game and why. Order doesn't really matter here. I got one I got in mind, and normally I either go first or last, so I'm going to put myself in the middle here. So if one of you guys wants to go first and do yours first, I'm taking the middle slot. So whichever one of you guys speaks up first can go first.
All right. I'm going to go with Thielen versus Bryce Callahan.
Great. There goes mine. I might as well go last now because that was mine.
I really love how Bryce Callahan has been playing this year. I mean, I think last game he had an interception, where he jumped the ball. He's been jumping the ball very nicely, getting in front of the pass, tipping it down. He's a really good tackler. And, he deserves a shot at the Pro Bowl, but he's not even in the ballot. I don't know why. Do you guys know that?
No, they don't have any nickel quarters in the ballot though.
Oh,
it's quarterback 1 and 2. He's technically on our roster, cornerback 3.
Okay, I mean, he's our cornerback 3, but in my opinion, he's playing like our cornerback 1. No shade to Fuller or Mukamara, but he's been consistent every single game. We've had games where Mukamara and Fuller have been a little iffy, but Bryce Callahan has been amazing on defense, and Adam Thielen is probably the second best statistical wide receiver this year.
8 games in a row with 100-plus yards. And even in the games, I said this last night, but even in the games where he hasn't had 100-plus yards, I think he still had a touchdown in that game on Darius Slay. So he's still making an impact in every game.
So it's going to be a big task for Bryce Callahan. I think this is going to be his hardest matchup so far, hardest matchup all year. You could argue that. And if he can prove himself in this matchup, I honestly think he deserves a nice contract extension pretty soon, which he probably will be asking for anyway. But this is a huge game because if the Bears can't stop Thielen, I don't think we win this game just because of how dominant their offense is, and especially how dominant it is around Adam Thielen.
Yeah, I'll go next. I'm going to go with Mr. Trubisky, just not really his ability to beat the Minnesota secondary, but his ability to work outside of the scripted plays. Obviously, we've known since the Green Bay game week 1, he's been able to work really well coming out of halves and starting the game on these scripted plays, these throws kind of to get him rolling, and he's had some pretty good first drives. Obviously, I feel like throughout the season as it's progressed, he's been better and better. It's been getting better and better on drives where it isn't as scripted, and he's been able to go through his progressions and stuff. But this game it's a different animal that he's facing, and there's so many superstar players. We talked about him last night. You got Harrison Smith, you got Anthony Barr, you got Danielle Hunter, you got Andrew Sadejo, you got Trey Waynes. You got a ton of good players on the Minnesota defense. So just his ability to be smart with the ball is going to end up being huge. Kirk Cousins, obviously, I think might turn the ball over against the Bears. He's fumbled the most times in the last 5 years, I think it was. 21 fumbles since he entered the league. 3 of them being this season and 8 of them being in his last 16 games, I read today. Trubisky's going to have to capitalize, and we're going to have to score points off turnovers if our defense steps up. So Trubisky's ability not only to hold on to the ball, but just keep drives going where we can get points. Obviously, you're saying, how can we get points if Cody Parkey's missing field goals? I'm feeling more confident with Cody Parkey practicing at Soldier Field this week to get field goals. I'll even take field goals in this game. I know it's going to be a close game, so just our ability to put up points, it's going to fall on Trubisky's shoulders. We can't keep the ball in our territory the entire game.
I'm going to add something real quick. Congrats to Mr. Trubisky for winning NFC Offensive Player of the Week, which is pretty awesome to see our quarterback there.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that was good. And he's up for FedEx Player of the Week as well. And then I know Anthony Miller's up for Rookie of the Week, but I don't think he's going to win it because Chubb had an incredible game.
Or Baker Mayfield, too.
Yeah, him too.
So my key factor for this week is Bears D-line versus Vikings D-line, or Bears front seven versus Vikings front seven. Now, considerably, in my opinion, these are one of the best front sevens in the entire league. And I would say the Vikings O-line is worse than ours. So if we can capitalize off of their O-line being a little worse than ours, like at least average or below average, then we can make Kirk Cousins cause turnovers, and we can use those turnovers to capitalize and run up the score like we've been doing the last 3 weeks of this winning streak. So, like Chris said, Kirk Cousins can turn over the ball. We can get big turnovers. So I feel like if we do that, we can win the game easily.
Yeah, one thing I would like to talk about, I would like to talk about just like as far as Minnesota goes, the run game versus the pass game. You guys can talk about this as well. We're only at like 5 minutes right now, so we can just talk about some extra stuff. But as far as a key matchup goes in this game, I would much rather, if I had to choose what like factor of the Minnesota offense that the Bears shut down, I would much rather have them disrupt Kirk Cousins and shut down the passing game and have them strictly run the ball than have them strictly pass the ball. I'm much more confident in the Bears' defense to shut down guys like Dalvin Cook and Latavius Murray than I am against Adam Thielen, who's obviously top 5 receiver in the league, I would say, without even question at this point. He's always been an under-the-radar guy, but he's been performing big time this year. I would much rather trust the Bears to shut down the run than shut down the pass. So I think just the pressure getting there, obviously, as Jaylen was saying, on that weak offensive line, and getting to Cousins is going to be just massive in this game. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we wrap this up? Because it's been pretty short.
Yeah, I mean, disrupting Kirk Cousins, in my opinion, is like disrupting their whole offense. Because their whole offense is based around, well, most offenses in the NFL is based around their quarterback. But especially Kirk Cousins, because they lean heavily on him to throw the ball to their star wideouts. And if we can disrupt him, maybe get him to throw an interception, get him to fumble the ball, it's going to create short field opportunities for the Bears. Like I watched Allen Robinson, I think, today on NFL Live, where he said our defense has been so helpful to our offense by creating like
turnovers and stuff.
Short field opportunities.
Yeah, but yeah, I wouldn't expect it's going to be a tough night for Allen Robinson. I would say on Sunday. I really don't expect much out of Allen Robinson. Obviously, he had the incredible game, but he was going against the Detroit number 2. He had a matchup where he could exploit. It's much tougher this week against an All-Pro corner, a Pro Bowler in Xavier Rhodes. So it's kind of hard for me to put a finger on how we're going to score points this week. I'm having a little bit of trouble thinking about it because obviously you think we can run the ball, sure. Jordan Howard really hasn't found his hot step yet, and I wouldn't be surprised if he did not find really his breakthrough game against a good D-line with Everson Griffin, Danielle Hunter, and you got Anthony Barr as well, who's one of the best linebackers in the league. So it feels like it's going to be hard to run the ball. The only thing I can really see happening is if guys like Trey Burton step up, guys like Anthony Miller step up. Taylor Gabriel, this is going to be a huge game for him. He needs to step up. We'll get into who needs to step up specifically in our pregame show, but it's going to be tough to get the balls to our big playmakers, I would say, because Minnesota's got some pretty good defenders on those guys.
Before we finish, I know a lot of people outside of of Chicago don't know about this, but something that could make or break this game is Cody Parkey kicking at Soldier Field today. That could help us tremendously because with it being two close teams that are very close in how they play, a field goal could decide the game. And Cody Parkey kicking at Soldier Field, knowing he had a bad game last week, that can help us. So I didn't want to say something about that.
And I'm glad whether he turns out being better next week, he could go and miss 4 field goals again next week. But I feel better just going into this weekend knowing that he's putting in extra work, going out, commuting to the city in rush hour traffic, which we all know Chicago traffic is brutal, going there or back at night. So just to see him out there practicing is just a kind of a sign of relief, I would say, for Bears fans. Do I like that news reporters and everyone's out there filming it? Not essentially. I don't want him really being distracted and all. But I guess if you're a news station and you need something to report, you need something to report. But it's just good to see actual confirmation that he's out there kicking and stuff. It's good to see.
Yeah, like an actual helicopter out flying over Soldier Field of him kicking field goals.
You'd think with the crime rates and stuff in Chicago, I hate to bring up negative things, but you'd think with all the stuff going around in a city as crazy as Chicago, you would have something better to report on than Cody Parkey kicking field goals on a Wednesday night.
The Bears are that important to this city now.
And they always have been, but it's exciting that they're finally playing well again. But I think that's any last words. Any of you guys?
Yeah, I got a little interesting stat that I found out about yesterday about the Vikings slot corner.
Okay.
Vikings in the slot, defending the slot, have been allowing one of the most yards in the NFL. I think it was around 90 yards. So it depends on who plays the most of the slot, which will probably be between Taylor Gabriel and Anthony Miller. Those two, like you said, we're gonna talk about it more in our pregame show, but that's the key to score, the slot position, and tight end Trey Burton.
Yeah, totally. Any last words, Jaylen?
The Rams game was flexed, so.
Oh yeah,
that's
flexed. Yeah, they're finally respecting us. I don't know if I essentially like that, but as far as Trubisky, I was watching Good Morning Football. That's the best show. That's my favorite show to watch. And obviously it goes on when I'm in school, but I record it or I just rewatch clips. If you ever want to watch clips of shows where they talk about the Bears, for any of you watching, literally download Twitter, and there's just so much Bears content and everything going all over Twitter all day. So I'm literally on my school iPad at school, just scrolling through Twitter, just watching Bears stuff most of the day. But Good Morning Football, they were saying it's good for Trubisky because he's got all these doubters, and it'll be time for him to either prove them right in saying he's a bum, or prove them wrong and play well in these big games against good teams. So it should be interesting to see what happens. I'm glad. I mean, personally, it's costing us sleep, considering I know this weekend we're going to have to record a post-game show at 10:30 and get it up at midnight on Sunday night. But, I have school Monday, Tuesday. I have school Monday, Tuesday, so, yeah. Totally.
But that show is also, incredibly, kind of biased, you could say, because, Kay Adams, their host, and, what's his name, Kyle Brandner, both Bears fans, 2 out of the 4 guys that are just...
Yeah, totally. And Nate Burleson's always someone who's great insight. And I know I'm missing one.
I never hated Nate Burleson, but I used to hate what he used to say about Trubisky. He was he doesn't think Trubisky is the right quarterback because...
Burleson?
One game, Jordan Howard was... and Tariq Cohen was his leading scorer, and he felt like he wasn't that successful because of remember the Panthers game he barely threw the ball?
7 times, yeah.
He was like, that was my quarterback. I should be able to trust him.
I will say, one guy that has given Trubisky, unwavering support, shout out Greg Jennings.
Yeah. Colin Cowherd's a little...
Yeah, Colin Cowherd. All right, we're getting way off track. Whatever. We'll talk... we can rant about Colin Cowherd in another episode if we want. But that'll pretty much do it for this episode, guys. If you did like it, please make sure to smash the like button. Subscribe, turn on post notifications, all that good stuff. You can find all of our fan pages. I'm Chris. On the right of your screen is Parth, and then you got Jaylen on the left of your screen. You can go down in the description to find our personal Bears fan pages, and you can also follow the podcast on Twitter and Instagram at BearDown. Yeah, that's pretty much going to do it, and we will see you guys in the pregame show. Yeah, that's pretty much going to do it, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bear Down Chicago. Peace.
Peace.